Have you ever wondered how anxiety affects millions worldwide, and yet many of us still struggle to understand it completely? This is a question that resonates with many, as anxiety disorders are the most common mental health issue globally. They don't discriminate either, affecting people of all ages from all walks of life. But what exactly is anxiety? Anxiety is a normal and often healthy emotion. It can serve as our body's alarm system, alerting us to danger or pushing us to solve problems. However, when these feelings become chronic, excessive, and interfere with our daily lives, it shifts from being a normal reaction to a mental health disorder. Anxiety disorders can cause people to avoid situations that trigger or worsen their symptoms. Job performance, schoolwork, and personal relationships can also suffer. The reality of anxiety is that it's not just about feeling stressed or worried. Symptoms can range from feelings of unease, such as worry or fear, to more severe symptoms like restlessness and sleep problems. Physical symptoms are common too, and can include a rapid heart rate, nausea, and even panic attacks. There are several types of anxiety disorders, including generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and various phobia-related disorders. Each has its own set of unique symptoms, but share the common underlying feature of excessive, irrational fear and dread. Generalized anxiety disorder, for instance, involves persistent and excessive worry about various different things. People with panic disorder experience recurring panic attacks at unexpected times. Those with phobia-related disorders, on the other hand, experience intense fear of specific objects or situations. In all its forms, anxiety can be debilitating. Yet, despite its prevalence, it remains misunderstood by many. It's not merely an overreaction to stress or a sign of a weak personality, as some might believe. Anxiety is a real, complex mental health issue with a profound impact on people's lives. Anxiety is not just about feeling stressed or worried, it's much more complex and can significantly impact a person's life. What do experts say about anxiety and its effects on our mental health? Mental health professionals across the globe echo the same sentiment. Anxiety is a serious health issue. It isn't something to be ignored or brushed off as a mere overreaction. It's a real, tangible condition that millions wrestle with every day. According to psychologists, anxiety disorders are characterized by a constant and overwhelming sense of fear and worry. These feelings, when left unchecked, can interfere with daily activities, relationships, and overall quality of life. Anxiety doesn't only affect the mind, but also has profound physiological effects. Physicians explain that the body's response to anxiety is akin to its response to a physical threat. The heart races, breathing becomes rapid, and you might even feel dizzy or nauseous. This is the body's fight or flight response in action, a primal reaction designed to keep us safe from danger. However, when triggered by anxiety, this response is more harmful than helpful. Psychiatrists emphasize that anxiety disorders are not a sign of weakness or a character flaw. It's not something that you can simply snap out of or get over. It's a mental health condition that requires understanding, empathy, and professional intervention. Clinical psychologists state that anxiety can manifest in different ways for different people. Generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and social anxiety disorder are just a few of the types that individuals can experience. Each one is unique with its own set of symptoms and triggers, but they all share a common thread. They can be debilitating if not addressed. Therapists underline the importance of recognizing and validating the experiences of those living with anxiety. Dismissing their feelings or labeling them as overly sensitive only serves to exacerbate their condition. It's crucial to foster an environment that encourages open and honest conversations about mental health. Experts agree, anxiety is a serious health issue, not a personal failure. Their consensus is clear: it's time to stop stigmatizing anxiety and start understanding it for what it truly is. A significant mental health concern that deserves our attention and care. Ever wonder what's happening inside your brain when you're feeling anxious? Well, let's dive into the fascinating world of neuroscience to understand this. Anxiety is not just a product of your mind, but a complex interaction between your brain and body. At its core, anxiety is a biological response designed to keep us safe from perceived threats or dangers. When we're anxious, our brain's amygdala, the alarm system for threats, springs into action. It signals the hypothalamus, our command center, which in turn triggers the adrenal glands to release adrenaline. This adrenaline rush prepares us for what is known as the fight or flight response. Our heart rate increases, our breathing becomes rapid, and our body is on high alert. But here's where it gets a bit more complex. Sometimes the amygdala can overreact, triggering an anxiety response when there's no actual threat. This is when anxiety becomes a problem, rather than a helpful survival mechanism. Additionally, our brains have a neurotransmitter called GABA, which acts as a natural tranquilizer to keep our excitability in check. However, in people with anxiety disorders, there's often less GABA activity, leading to increased anxiety. Then there's serotonin, another neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood. Low levels of serotonin are associated with anxiety and depression. Certain medications work by increasing the availability of serotonin in the brain, helping to alleviate anxiety symptoms. It's also worth mentioning that our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logical thinking and decision-making, tries to turn off the amygdala's alarm. But in moments of extreme anxiety, the amygdala may be too powerful to override. Understanding these brain mechanisms can help us demystify anxiety. It's not a sign of weakness or a character flaw, but a biological response that sometimes gets a bit overzealous. By learning about the science behind anxiety, we can start to see it for what it truly is, not a mysterious overpowering force, but a part of our brain's complex, intricate system. Knowing the science behind anxiety can help us demystify it and lessen its power over us. How can we effectively manage anxiety and keep it from controlling our lives? This question is crucial, as it is the foundation upon which we can start to construct our coping strategies. Let's start with cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. It's a type of psychological treatment that has been extensively researched and proven effective for a range of problems including depression, anxiety disorders, alcohol and drug use problems, marital problems, eating disorders, and severe mental illness. CBT addresses negative patterns and distortions in the way we look at the world and ourselves. It's a hands-on, practical approach to problem solving with a goal to change patterns of thinking or behavior that are behind people's difficulties and so change the way they feel. Then we have mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of purposely focusing your attention on the present moment and accepting it without judgment. It's now being examined scientifically and has been found to be a key element in stress reduction and overall happiness. Mindfulness can help us to stay connected to the present moment, rather than getting lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Self-care habits are also incredibly important. This includes maintaining a healthy lifestyle, getting regular exercise, ensuring you have a balanced diet, and getting plenty of sleep. These habits not only improve our physical health, but they can also have a significant impact on our mental and emotional well-being. And let's not forget, seeking professional help is vital. Mental health professionals, including psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, and mental health counselors, can provide support and guidance as you navigate through your anxiety. They can provide you with tools and techniques to manage your anxiety effectively. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to admit that you're struggling. You don't have to face anxiety alone. There is help available, and it's okay to reach out and grab it. While there's no one-size-fits-all solution, there are strategies available that can help manage anxiety. And remember, it's absolutely okay to try different strategies until you find what works best for you. Why is seeking help crucial when dealing with anxiety? In a world where strength is often equated with independence, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we need to face our battles alone. But let's set the record straight. Reaching out for help when dealing with anxiety isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage, a testament to your resilience. Imagine you're on a journey, navigating through an unfamiliar forest. Anxiety is like a thick fog that descends, making the path unclear and the journey more difficult. Now you might be able to find your way out on your own, but wouldn't it be easier, safer, and quicker if you had a guide? Someone who knows the terrain, someone who can help you understand the fog and teach you how to navigate through it? That's exactly what professional help can provide. We live in a time where mental health professionals have a wealth of knowledge, tools, and strategies to help us manage and overcome anxiety. These professionals, be they psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, or therapists, are trained to understand the human mind. They can offer you a safe space to express your fears and worries, help you identify triggers, and equip you with effective coping strategies. Let's hear from those who have walked this path before us. Take Jane, for instance. She spent years trying to manage her anxiety on her own. But when she finally reached out to a therapist, she discovered new ways to cope that she'd never considered before. Or consider Michael, who was apprehensive about medication, but found that, under the guidance of a psychiatrist, it was a game changer for him. These are just two of countless stories of individuals who have sought help and seen significant improvements in their lives. Each story is a reminder that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to lean on others. Remember, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's an act of strength. Because in the face of anxiety, you don't have to stand alone. Reach out, seek help. You are stronger than you think.